pass we're going to learn about is called the forehand. The forehand also has another name, and it's also sometimes called the flick. The reason why we call it the forehand or the flick is because we actually lead the pass with our forehand rather than our backhand. What that means is you're actually going to be passing with the front of your hand like this rather than with the backhand. With the forehand, we actually have to use a different type of grip than we did with the backhand. The grip for the forehand is known as the tripod grip. Now the tripod grip uses 3 fingers. We use your thumb, your index finger, and your middle finger. So if I were to turn the Frisbee over, or the disc over, I would take my middle finger first, everyone's favorite finger, and I would put the middle finger along the inside lip of the Frisbee. Then I'm going to separate my index finger from my middle finger and spread them out, kind of like I'm making a peace sign. So the middle finger sits on the inside lip or the edge, and the index finger spreads out, and it's really there mostly for support. Then if I were to flip the Frisbee over, the thumb goes on the outside of the Frisbee and then curls on the top. So if I were to hold the Frisbee up properly, like a tripod grip, this is what it would look like. Once you're holding the disc with the tripod grip, okay, now you can begin the forehand or the flick pass. You want to tuck your elbow in and hold the disc out at about a 45-degree angle. So you want the Frisbee to actually be hanging on a little bit of an angle, and remember it's sitting on the inside of your middle finger. Okay? So it's hanging at a 45-degree angle, and it's all within the wrist. There's no large arm movements, which is why I keep my elbow tucked in. So again, I'm going to flick my wrist, I'm going to release the disc, it's going to release off the middle finger and spin, and that's how I generate my spin for the pass. When throwing the forehand or the flick, as I mentioned before, you want that elbow tucked in, you want the disc hanging off your middle finger with support from your thumb and your index at about a 45-degree angle, okay? And you want the power to come from your wrist, from the flick of your wrist. Now this is the kind of pass that doesn't involve a forward step or a backward step, okay? You actually want to step, again, with the same leg as the arm that's throwing, but it's more to step laterally or to the side, and that's how you beat your defender. You want to step to the side to pass around your defender. So if I was going to pass this Frisbee, I would step like this. Step out to the side, and I would throw. This would allow me to go around my defender in case I couldn't beat them on the outside. One last thing I want to mention about holding the disc for a forehand throw is that when it's a neat 45-degree angle, as I mentioned before, you want to make sure it's released at that angle. So when you flick your wrist, you're releasing it at that slight angle, because when you release it at that angle, it's actually going to curve up and flat, and the spin is going to maintain the level of the Frisbee. If you don't, and you release it flat already, the Frisbee is going to curve upright, and it's going to end up falling and hitting the ground, or not going to the destined target. So again, 45-degree angle, release it at the angle so that it spins and flattens out and makes it to the target.